Haters lose honor. Surprise! It was Silver Quill who wrote the script the whole time.
I'll find out by the end of the day.
Are you talking like in-universe or out-of-universe? Sorry, what? Okay. Well, what happened after the mob is that they just stayed out of the door. We locked it. Oh. Sorry, what? I guess.
Okay, guys. Hi. Okay, before I start, I'm going to ask you guys to do a favor. We might get a lot of people in, so can everyone scrunch in a little bit to make sure people in the back have seats?
But we're not gay.
What?
All you gotta do is just sing a little song. Getting to know you. Getting to make new friends.
Because I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be shuffling in as the panel starts. You guys are the cool people because you're actually here on time.
Punctuality! And it's fine.
And then you might need to flee if something goes horribly wrong, so you know we all want to.
There's a fire.
There's a fire. We all know Josh Scorcher did it.
Mr. Scorcher, your rebuttal.
I deny nothing.
All right, since none of us have anything planned because we're so smart, this is just going to be a general Q&A about anything you've ever wanted to know. We'll introduce ourselves, but I'm pretty sure if you guys came to an analyst panel, you know who we are, hopefully, maybe. Unless you're here with your children, then I'm sorry.
It's still a courtesy. It's still a professional courtesy.
We'll start with Dr.Wolf, and then we'll work our way down back to me.
Greetings and welcome, one and all. I am Dr. Wolf, and this is actually my second year at BABSCon, and it's definitely turning out to be a lot of fun. So thank you all for coming, and looking forward to what we get into.
Hi, I'm the Fiery Joker. I take ponies too seriously. This is my first year at BABSCon. I am really excited to meet so many people here. It's been a blast so far, and yeah, I hope to answer all your questions, hope to sufficiently entertain you all, and I hope to make a lot of jokes and not explode any of you.
I
don't believe you.
I have such a horrible poker face.
I am he whose name was forth in the time before time.
All right, pigeon!
Fiery turtle. I also need a lozenge. I am Silver Quill. This is my third year at BABSCon. And it is such a funny contrast. When I first came to BABSCon, I did not know a soul. I sort of just shuffled through the crowd. And now I see people I've met. I see friends that I've met my first time at BABSCon, and just enjoy getting to meet more people. So thank you all for coming.
And then I'm ILoveKimPossibleAlot. I do.
All hail the Discord princess!
There you go. They saw my announcement videos. I told them to stream that to me if they actually, proved that they watched it. So every time you guys see me, just scream, "All hail the Discord princess." I'm not egotistical, I promise. Anyway, I do reviewing, I do analyzing, I do varied animations. My channel is a whole range of content. I have restraining order of John Delancey pending, the usual. So, so are we getting a line, or are we calling him?
No, we're...
Let's call on first.
Okay, so questions, we're just gonna call on people. So if you have a question, raise your hand. Yeah, well, if we don't raise your hand until after we go through everyone once, and then you can ask multiple questions. But we just want to make sure everyone who has a question gets a chance to ask one question. Make sense? Okay. You in the front, go for it. Yes.
So
Stand up.
And speak very loudly.
Speak very loud.
Can't a lot of voice.
So, when did each of you meet each other? Or rather, how?
At cons, right?
Yeah, pretty much at cons.
Yeah, definitely meeting face to face at cons.
Well, what I mean is that
However, you're probably meeting when we first
became friends.
interacted with each other online and decided, you know, maybe we should try to do a project together here and there. I remember with Josh Scorcher, he had recently been added to the Rift Cafe, and
We don't talk about the Rift Cafe.
Yeah, we don't talk about the Rift Cafe.
The first rule of the Rift Cafe is you do not talk about the Rift Cafe.
Right. What's a Rift Cafe?
The second rule is that you don't eat my cookies.
Anyways,
You were good.
I had seen a few of Josh's videos at that point, and I was impressed with his work, and I said, you know, I had just barely started this Home with DRWolf series. Had he seen any of it? Would he like to take part? And how did you react to that request? I'm sure you've gotten all kinds of collaboration requests before that.
Well, yeah, it's just I saw a lot of your work, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a cool thing. It's a new format, and just a way to like discuss things and hash things out, and yeah, I'm just like, okay, yeah, this would be fun to do. It's almost like an interview, but not really.
Yeah. And we talked about quality control in the fandom.
And it didn't go over so well.
It sparked a lot of good discussion, I'll give you that.
And a lot of other discussion.
I can remember with Silver Quill, I had no idea he was even aware of my work. Until I came across an episode of review of Twilight Time, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed.
And at the very end, he was basically telling Spike, I am so sorry, you go through so much. You know, maybe a visit with DRWolf might help. So he puts his image of DRWolf on screen, and I'm like, he actually knows me. He actually watches my work.
Senpai noticed me.
So after that, I left a comment saying, well, that's a pleasant surprise, and I think we may have messaged each other directly at some point, and I said, are you aware of the Home with DRWolf series? Would you like to take part? And you said, what was it you said at first?
And I typed that out in Skype chat. It's very phonetic. I had muscle cramps. Let's see. Now, for me, Josh, I just gotten done with some reviews of early season 4, and including Rarity Takes Manhattan. And I was like, okay, that was my first collab ever. It was exhausting. I'm not sure why I did it. Oh, hey, that's just from Josh Scorcher. I watch his video game reviews, some of the pony reviews. Oh, what would he say? Hey, you'd like to collab? Okay. And then I pulled the ultimate troll on him and myself. This was fun. I had a little earpiece and microphone. I thought they would, work on the go. The microphone did not. It did not. So in the middle of a Starbucks, I started a chat. So the earpiece is taking care of the audio, but Josh is hearing everything. Everything. And he doesn't say a word about it. He's too polite. So for about an hour, he's just like, until he finally breaks his head, are you in a coffee shop? Meanwhile, I don't know, Starbucks music, it will rot your brain.
I don't drink coffee. I don't know these things.
The music they play, it will rot your brain.
No, I don't. I don't go to coffee shops.
Like the coffee will go after your digestive tract.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn, I guess. I think the first one I met was DRWolf. Do you remember how that happened? I don't remember how that happened.
This was actually one of the very first collaboration projects I had ever done.
This is when we were both babies and we both had like 5,000 subscribers.
No, not even that many.
Yeah.
At that point, I didn't even have 1,000, and I think you were maybe 2,000 by that point. And
They grow up so
and
fast.
they grew up so fast. This was only a few months after either of us had started working on YouTube. And I think you and I were the very first collaboration project that you had done with anyone, wasn't it?
It might have been. I did so many collabs at the very beginning that they all just kind of meshed together, and now I don't do them as much anymore, so.
Yeah, we all did.
It was basically, we had messaged each other and we both wanted to talk about our thoughts on Nightmare Moon and what might have happened way back then. And we were both very amateurish in our editing back then. I think I was...
That was when I was editing my own videos.
Far less skilled than you were, that's for sure, because when I showed you my video, you took it and you actually added a few things here and there because you could do things that I couldn't do back then.
And yet you still use iMovie.
I still use iMovie. It's the only thing I know. I have no skill when it comes to editing. I really don't. It's very amateurish, but I somehow make it work.
But still, on behalf of all video editors, rush shun him. Sean.
Yes.
Sean.
I don't know.
High five. There you go.
High five.
Okay.
And then I don't really remember, do you remember how, you two remember how we met?
I think you, okay, it was related to that place where I think you messaged that you'd like to talk about Keep Calm and Feather On.
All right, that happened, didn't
Yes,
it?
that happened. So I said, sure, let's give it a go. And I remember that it was in October, and I was sort of, things were kind of full at the time. I was like, this might happen for a while. We made a you threatened to turn me into a Thanksgiving dinner. A video. She's terrifying. And I said, well, that kind of puts a time crunch on, so we got it out before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean you did it. I gave you lines.
Yeah, and I believe that KP and I became acquainted at via the Rift and at BaroniCon, but we never really actually, spoke to each other until she actually approached me about trying a video game review.
Right, which ended kind of meh. I'm not
Yeah.
the best on camera person.
Yeah, it ended kind of mad, but we got a lot of good jokes out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Got a lot of good jokes. It was a lot of fun to write the script.
I can never make enough Kim Possible references that I rarely make, so
Although
she's like, hey, you like doing video games, right? Yeah. And I like Kim Possible. Where are you going with this?
Although the ultimate joke is that the original question is, how did you all become friends? And our friend said, well, we first interacted with one another.
We first started communication. Okay, next question. You in the red.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Okay, besides Kim Possible, because it's too easy, if you were going to review any other cartoon other than Pony or Kim Possible, which one would it be?
You first, Doc?
Another cartoon? I don't know. I really don't watch that many other shows these days. I keep busy just making more videos.
Could you repeat the question?
He's asked what other show would we talk about if it wasn't Kim Possible or My Little Pony?
Not sure yet.
What about now?
You're gonna have to get back to me on that one.
All right, well, I suppose I'll start. I suppose I wouldn't go episodically like I would with My Little Pony because with My Little Pony, a lot of these episodes are drastically different, and with other cartoons, they're not really all too different. But if I were to do a cartoon, I would probably do shows I liked, like Justice League. Yes, really enjoyed Justice League. Flash's best Justice League member.
Oh, Batman.
I will fight you on this. I was a corporal in the Marine Corps. Okay, you wanna go?
Josh Scorcher?
Ding ding ding!
Josh Scorcher can
I would do a video on military violence. Let's see here. Well, I mean, there's so much of my childhood I can reminisce on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers. We're talking about my childhood, right? Nothing's changed. Look on that. I'm still watching Transformers and Ninja Turtles, and they're still on TV. What?
Yeah.
But honestly, I would want to take a look back at some older 80s stuff to show how things have improved, changed since then, the messages. And while I agree that a lot of the shows back then, you've seen one, you arguably have seen 90% of them. There's just so many ways to make fun of them. It's like a buffet, I just don't know where to start.
I was gonna say, I might have written a Steven Universe script. out eventually as soon as pony stuff stops. You know, not like the season ends, not like forever.
Just do it.
Just do it. That's the idea. I already have I got the OC redesigned back, and it's like I'm in an amethyst costume. It's pretty cool looking.
Next question. Sorry.
What would you say is the most frustrating or difficult part of the review making process?
The most frustrating and difficult part of the reviewing process.
It's us, right? Besides us.
When you have a really, really good idea that you think is going to be so much fun, and you realize in the end it can't work, and you have to let go of this really great idea.
It's like killing your babies.
Yeah, it's something you work so hard on, but you reach a point where you realize it's not going to work. And despite the fact that I work so hard on this, and it is so much fun in my head, you have to be able to let it go. You have to be able to
Let it go.
No.
Right on it.
That is probably the most frustrating element to creating any particular video.
For me, it's the inability to predict how my audience is going to react. With every single video that I put out, I have no idea how my audience is going to react to it, and the jokes. I do put a lot of effort into these jokes, and that just the fear that they're not going to be accepted very well is a little daunting. So yeah, that's my personal struggle. That's my personal insecurity. So what about you?
No.
Alright, now that I've made you all deaf.
Choke yourself.
Bring it to your own dirty work, sonny boy.
Oh, okay. Hey, he asked me to choke him. I had that on record. He asked me to choke him. You cannot do anything. You cannot sue me.
Okay, for me, the most frustrating element is always the blank canvas. You have the timeline of the editing piece. You have you have all these clips arranged, but there is nothing there. No framework, no structure, no nothing. And for what could be the next hour, it's you listening to yourself, marking it in and out on the timeline, saying, put this other clip here, now put this other clip there. That first take was kind of iffy, this one's a little bit better. It is tedium. And it isn't until you get to the the editing where you start to see the visuals coming together that it starts to really gain energy. So starting out is always the hardest part, but then you just gotta, let the frustration go.
No, dude.
Why
do you guys keep frozen? What's so bad?
Oh, okay. I'll try to drown this.
I've invested in life insurance, so.
Okay.
And I also want the new iPhone.
Do I have to separate you two?
Maybe.
The country isn't big enough to separate us.
I will find him.
Are you implying we send him to the middle?
I will find him! Yes.
I would think that was obvious by now.
He's just naturally good at it. Anyway, so what was the question?
Most frustrating.
The most frustrating part. You guys probably know I have a production team that helps me by now. If you don't, then you're obviously not paying attention to the advertisements we need every 6 months or so for people. Anyway, for me personally, it's recording, because script writing comes pretty easy to me. If I have dots that I want to spew out, then they just kind of spew out for me. It's not really hard for me unless I don't really have much to say about an episode, but especially if I really want to write something, then it's like the Discord episodes, they're longer, but they just come out, they just come out on paper so easily, so it's not that hard. Recording is the worst because I procrastinate that. It's hard for me to actually record. And then I've been getting more noticeable or been noticing like different audio qualities lately, so I've kind of been trying to do that. So sitting there and actually recording. And do you guys know that, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but my average video has like 45 minutes of raw audio for a 3 or 4 minute video. Yeah. No me gusta.
I have edited her audio before. She is not exaggerating.
So
I say that with love.
yeah, I know. I'm not just because that way the editor has multiple takes to choose from. So if I can say, hey, that line is weird, and they have multiple takes to choose from.
It's not multiple takes. You just can't finish a line.
Blah, blah. Yeah, that too. And then
No, that only.
Shush. Shush.
Okay, I'm glad I'm separating the two.
Anyway, and then actually, as far as the production team on the whole, it's managing people and making sure everyone's happy, but also keeping enough letting the department heads kind of figure everyone. I feel basically I run a con all the time. It's for the production team, so that's fun. But yeah, so next question. How about the team? What's that thing from Team Titans?
Red X.
Red X, yeah, Red X, go.
Oh, I thought it was Reaper from Overwatch.
Hold on.
Silence ringing.
How were each of you first introduced to the fandom?
How did we become bronies?
Yeah. Oh, why don't we start from that end?
Okay, I became a brony. I have a problem. I really like Kim Possible a lot younger than I should have. I've told the story like 5 times now, but I remember it now. And then I was bullied in middle school for it because I liked Kim Possible older than I should have. And then I've always had a passion for animation, and if a story's good, then the story's good on its own regard. It doesn't really matter what the wrapping is. Can't judge a book by its cover and all that good stuff. So that, and then when I heard about the brony movement, because I like animation, because I found out that these grown men were into My Little Pony, I was like, I need to study this and figure out what's going on. And then I didn't really get into it, like making content till season 3, but it was an interesting ride. But yeah, that's how I did it.
For me, I was working, non-disclosure clause, I can't really say what I was doing, but you didn't see people at their best. And so I would go home and usually just watch something silly online to sort of unwind. Red versus Blue, Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. That guy with the glasses. Yeah! Back when it was called That Guy with the Glasses. And everyone kept referencing My Little Pony. And My Little Pony, that show I didn't watch back in the 80s because G.I. Joe, Transformers, Mask, Shield Warriors, Silverhawks, Thundercats.
Yeah, keep going.
Basically, I was banded a lot as a kid. So I thought, well, and then I saw CR's review and retrospective of the My Little Pony franchise. So I thought, okay, I'll give this a look. And it wasn't until I finished going through most of season 1 that I realized, yeah, I've been consistently entertained. This is holding my interest a lot more than primetime shows, in fact. So I just became more and more involved in the fandom. Started off doing little comics, and then eventually, once the Princess Twilight rage settled for like 9 months, I decided to throw my hat in the ring.
You don't have a hat.
That's because it's in the ring.
My secret, I'm not a natural blonde.
He scalped himself.
Well played, Silver.
All right, well, for me, I was first introduced to My Little Pony through a whole bunch of, 4chan memes.
That's the best way, isn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't actually watch the show until one of my friends who had incredibly high standards. I affectionately refer to it as particularly particular. All of you probably have that kind of friend, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And he liked the show. He showed me, I wanted to introduce you to My Little Pony. And then I'm like, okay, if he likes it, then I gotta see this. And then I saw the episodes, watched more and more and more, felt compelled to talk about it, and that's how I made my first review.
Nice.
And I got ridiculed endlessly in the Marine Corps for it.
Don't ask, don't tell.
That was repealed a while ago.
Okay then. I can remember way back in 2010, I heard the first little tidbit online that they are remaking My Little Pony. I'm like, well, that's no big deal. They're rebooting every single show from the 80s and 90s over and over again. This is nothing new. And I didn't really think about it. It wasn't until 2011 that I started noticing that there were these videos popping up here and there on YouTube. And I believe the very first one I came across was a remake of the StarCraft II teaser done to My Little Pony clips. That was the very first that I ever noticed, hey, people are actually doing something with this show. This is actually getting popular. And the more I looked into it, the more I found, and the more I said to myself, really? Really? This is becoming popular? I don't get it yet. But I was enjoying all the creativity. I was laughing a lot at the jokes that people were coming up with using these pony images, and everywhere on YouTube there's just more and more. And I believe it was in early 2012, I decided, you know what? I have watched these mishmash crossover videos, and I've watched some reviews from certain people. I am going to look at the show and see for myself what it's all about. And I believe I started in the beginning of season 2 because I had heard that John Delancey was playing the main villain.
Woo!
Yeah. And I went through the first few episodes of season 2, and yeah, I was impressed with those first few. I got through Luna Eclipsed, and then I started thinking to myself, you know, I wonder what the most current episode in the series is actually like. So I looked up what is the most recent episode, and it was Hearts and Hooves Day, I believe. And this is something that I tell a lot of people, for people who are just barely starting out on the show, don't go to that episode as an early impression. Especially for the first introduction of the CMC, there was a lot to that episode that really pushed me off from the show for a few weeks or even a couple of months, I think it was. But I finally got myself interested again and watched the entire series, season 1 and season 2 at that point, and enjoyed it, and still searched out a lot more fan creations until season 3 came around and I started watching the episodes as they were coming out. But during season 3, as I was listening to the reviews of the people at that time, no one thought highly of Fluttershy, at least the reviews I found.
It was a dark period.
It was a dark period. And I didn't get it. I thought Fluttershy was a great character. She was an inspiring character, something that I thought was a welcome addition to the show. And it was in May of 2013 that DigiBrony had released a video asking for other people to submit their analysis videos. And it was at that point I realized, you know what? I do have a lot that I want to talk about, and throughout the many years, people have kept telling me I should do something with my voice, even though I had a hard time believing it. I wanted to see whether random strangers would say the same thing.
And they do.
Welcome to the internet.
And so over the course of like 3 days, I figured out from scratch how to make a video in the very basic iMovie program. And it's extremely amateurish looking back at it right now. But it was apparently enough because after uploading that video, a few hours later, it got posted to the main page of Equestria Daily, and by the next morning it had over 3,000 views, and I had garnered over 200 subscribers, and I'm like, how did this happen? What did I do? But when I realized people really did want to hear more from me, I said to myself, you know what? I guess I better start making an Applejack video. And I've been making 3 to 5 videos every single week for nearly 3 years.
He has a death
now.
wish.
Nearly 3 years now I've been keeping that up. And it's still fun.
All right, next questions. There's a lot of questions. Who do I choose? Okay, watch Pony guy in the back.
What's happening, brownies?
Don't plug yourself though. That's my shtick.
Okay. I can't help it. You see, I've made already a top 10 analyzers list. And I just want to ask if you guys think who would be in order between you four.
You want us to pick our favorites from our companions?
Well, obviously I'm the best, so.
Excuse me?
You've done it now. Okay, number 4 is Silver Quill. Number 3 is Silver Quill. Number 2 is Silver Quill, followed by Silver Quill, and Super Silver Quill. There we go.
There you go. There's your answer.
I've brought peace to this panel. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm just a big fan. Keep up the great work, guys.
All right, unicorn in the very back.
What tips can you give to new and upcoming analysis?
That's a question we get. Who wants to go first with that one? I'll go first because I usually
Ladies
go,
first.
like I go to so many cons, like I get asked these questions. My first advice is don't, like, we might start repeating ourselves, but don't do it for the right reasons. Do it to express yourself creatively, to get your voice out. You know, do it because it's fun for you. Don't do it to chase horse fame or online fame or, you know, I just want attention. Don't do it for those reasons because you're going to get burnt out and it's not going to be fun for over a long period of time. And you just don't want to put that kind of energy into your art. It's just messy. So do it just to express yourself. If you can't edit, then write, and you can just post blog entries, whatever. Make sure you have the correct equipment. Make sure you have a legit microphone. Please don't use your in-speaker microphones. It's going to turn a lot of viewers off automatically. I know people say I don't have money, but that's just a YouTube statistic. Not that, I'm just saying. And then try to find your own voice. Like, I realized when I was just starting out that my humor was my strong suit and not straight up analyzing or analyzing or whatever. So do the same for you. Like, Discord was my niche, and, you know, catering to that niche helped me out a lot. So do something, you know, maybe you really like Sunset Shimmer and you want to, like, take on a persona of alternate Sunset Shimmer, something like, you know, get creative and just have fun, I think. And stay consistent if you really want to build a subscriber base. But yeah.
My biggest thing is actually very similar advice. Just learn more about yourself. The funny thing about reviewing is that you learn more about yourself than anything. What you like, what you enjoy, what might trigger you. What is it you're looking for in this show? Once you understand that's what I'm looking for, you can express yourself better. Well, I understand we don't want to self-plug, but I am doing a panel on that topic right after this one, so I won't say more.
But you guys should come to my panel tomorrow instead. No, I'm
What are they going to do in the intervening hours?
I guess they can go to your panel.
Yes.
If you're bored, you know. You spent all your money in the vendor hall already.
Do I need to separate you two?
I'm very cross indeed, if possible.
Well, good thing we have a doctor to help us work it out.
He's not that kind of doctor.
Does this mean you're shipping us couples counseling? Inquiring minds want to know.
I'm going to say no because people will go there anyway.
All right, so advice to just start out. Well, you guys, you two pretty much hit up on all the major points. You know, good mic, good visual style, do it for the right reasons.
Do it for the mind.
But the tips I like, yeah, you know, like the whole find your niche. It's like, man, you guys hit all the good points. So I'm not entirely sure what I should add. You guys stole my thunder.
Do you have anything new, Dr. Wolf?
It's Dr. Wolf. He has a new thing once every 3 days.
The man doesn't sleep.
I try to sleep.
Try, not
Keyword.
Well, I suppose that is one thing that comes to mind. The fact that I enjoy spending the majority of my free time making videos, even if they turn out to be not that popular. Even if they turn out that people are saying, yeah, this didn't turn out as good as this, and this. I still have fun making them. I still have fun discussing these ideas. I still have fun reaching beyond my comfort zone, so to speak. Because I know that there are a lot of people in this community who want to have their voices heard, who want to share their creative spirit, but are constantly hampered by the very idea of what if other people don't like it.
If they're offended.
You have to enjoy what you're doing with the hopes that someone, somewhere out there, will learn something from it, or be entertained by it, or find some amount of joy in their daily life because you decided to create something. If you can find even just a few people here and there who have their spirits lifted in some way because of your efforts, that, at the end of the day, is a worthwhile reason to get into making YouTube videos. And in many cases, it may only be just a few people who see your work. You have to be okay with that. You have to love what you're doing because this is what you enjoy doing. This is what you're reaching beyond yourself to try and do and learn something new from it.
All right. Okay. Next question. We'll mix it up a little bit. Don't cheat and stand up. How about you in the red and yellow wig? Yeah.
Just people have been panelists have been doing this for a long time. Has there ever been a particular moment with the show where you thought was the biggest waste of potential?
Biggest waste of what?
Potential.
I think we talked about Spike a lot. All of us talked about Spike.
Let's see. The Crystal Empire Part 2.
Oh god.
Shining Armor is his wife is in poor health. She is burning herself out. So he's like, I have to go and find the Crystal Heart. And I think, yes, brother and sister working together to save a mutual loved one. This will be a great show of cooperation. Sparkle says, no, I have to save it. Oh, come on. Teamwork. Why is that a bad thing?
Lucia told her not to.
So, yeah, there are moments where I wish the show would pursue the spirit of cooperation more than anything.
Well, I think me, like a lot of other people, want a Celestia episode. But in terms of but in terms of what I think is the most wasted potential, let's talk about Equestria's military.
You all might want to order dinner now.
Yeah, Equestria's military is beyond incompetent. It's whenever we see them, they're either characterized as incompetent jerks or incompetent jerks. And it's really frustrating because as a person who is in the military, to see them portrayed as such a way, it's kind of, a continuous kick to the crotch.
So don't want to.
And
I'm glad you raised it up, dude.
You're gonna pay for that later. Yeah, but anyways, I really want to see the staff give us I want to see the staff give us a good equestrian military episode, but at the same time, I kind of don't trust them to, because the way they've been handled, because it's kind of, you have to understand that there's a lot of things in the military that you're not going to understand unless you were in it, so I wouldn't trust them to write it unless one of them was in it.
To win it.
Yeah, and I understand that a lot of people in the military aren't perfect, and yeah, there's a lot of people that aren't perfect. Sometimes we have to make very ugly, sometimes immoral decisions, and we try to prosecute these people to the best of our ability, and it's not perfect. It really isn't, but we try because the military serves a lot of very important functions that society needs to survive, and I do want to see an MLP episode try to focus on that because it means a lot to me. And yeah, just sorry I've gone on tangents, but yeah. In terms of wasted potential, equestrian military, your turn.
I don't think I could really follow up that very much. Really. In so many aspects of the show, even the moments which are meh or even frustrating, I still find plenty of good to draw out of it. I can still think of it from a different perspective and realize, maybe if this is what went into the decision that this character made, it could make sense and it could be admirable. It's kind of hard to do that for everyone, but I've always been trying to think that way. However, in terms of frustration, I still am going to have to agree that Spike has had a lot of wasted potential here and there throughout the series. Trying to portray him as incompetent in a way that we know he's very, very competent. I have created videos explaining away some of this behavior that I've seen in him, but it's still frustrating for me whenever I see what I know he does so well turn out to be just put in there for a joke.
Favorite ask of the folks in the back, could we keep away from the doorway? I think we're blocking people from even poking their heads in. Oh, thank you.
No one's allowed to leave. Okay, questions. There's a lot of questions. How about
the Applejack?
Applejack person? Your Applejack saved the day.
So who is your favorite Avenger?
Cap. Captain America is my favorite because I like his I love his ideals, I love his standards, and we're both blonde haired. but yeah, I love the way he deals with people, and I like the subtle drama that he has. Being a man at a time, he's still trying to cope with a lot of things. And even then you can tell there's like some hints of darkness there, like when Black Widow asks him, what are you gonna do this weekend? Oh, well, everyone in my barbershop quartet is dead. Dude, do you need a hug or something? Yeah, Cap is best Avenger.
Does Spider-Man count now?
Yes.
So Spider-Man, if not Iron Man.
Oh, we're gonna fight.
Tony Stark is so pretty.
Are we good? Let's see here. If we're going by the Marvel movie universe, I too will go Captain America. Yeah! I do enjoy the guys who recognize what's good and fight for it. They're not paragons, but they're trying to be the best people they can. Don't hurt me. In the comics, however, there's been a much higher roster to choose from. I actually was very fond of Luke Cage as he joined the New Adventures. He was, not only was he, kicking everyone in the face during fights. Oh yeah, that guy mess you up. But then he would have the Avengers go into communities with high crime rates, and the superheroes would just stand there on street corners, and the gang members, the looters, anyone who was looking to cause trouble would see Captain America, Iron Man, Luke Cage, Spider-Man on the street corner. They knew they were going to have a bad day. And that's when superheroes are starting to be proactive without lifting a finger. They are helping protect people. And Luke Cage coordinated that and was actually their PR during that effort. So greatly enjoyed his character. And I'm not at all intimidated by Chris Hemsworth's incredible muscle tone. Just incredible.
I don't think there's much I could really add here that they haven't already said, but I have always admired people who can stay calm under pressure and especially help others to find their strength and calm under pressure. So again, that probably points more to Captain America, doesn't it?
You feel incredibly outnumbered, don't you?
I don't care, I have Spider-Man.
That is a popular internet argument. I'm a fan of Spider-Man, your argument is valid.
I probably, my favorite Avenger would probably be Deadpool if he counted, but There's a Princess Deadpooler cosplayer, so like, Okay, he's amazing. Okay, more questions. We have 15 minutes. How about you with the red glove?
How did all of you, through your creative processes,
make your personas?
Trial and error.
Booze.
Booze and disappointment.
I'll give a slightly more serious answer.
What are you doing with your life? I'm making My Little Pony videos on the internet.
A slightly more serious answer. But yeah, basically I just took a couple pieces of myself and just exaggerated them. Like, I have this tendency to overanalyze. I have this tendency to nitpick, and whenever I review, I crank that up to 11. Or I have a tendency to get irritated easily, and I crank that up to 11 because it's funny.
Woo.
In my case, I can remember back in my early days of making videos, I was receiving requests from people, you know, you should make an OC. You should have some way to stand out from the crowd so people recognize you. And the very first thought is, well, everybody's making a pony OC, maybe I should make a pony OC. And then I realized, wait, everybody's making a pony OC. Why should I make a pony OC? The more I looked into it, the more I realized I could never create something that will stand out from the crowd. I am not an artist. I have very little creativity when it comes to drawing anything. So I looked back at the name, DRWolf, which was something that people had been calling me for quite some time before then. And I realized, you know, if I had a wolf character, even though there isn't an actual wolf in the show, I would instantly stand out from everyone. Anyone who saw a wolf OC would realize, oh, that's DRWolf. There's very few other people who have decided to make wolf OCs. And yeah, it has definitely worked in the long run. And yeah, thank you for that.
All right, question. Okay, put them up again. How about the guy with the cane?
Yay! So, what you were talking about earlier with finding your own inspiration for doing your own videos. You know, when you're also mentioning earlier Digibrony, like, I've still been following him, what he's been doing, and I've realized the kind of stuff that he does. He's very analytical. He, you know, it is very thought-driven, while I see, you know, Joker very emotional-driven. Then, so I see so many ways to do analysis, but then what are some basic core things to sort of rules to follow? Not just, you know, just equipment stuff, but sort of step-by-step, little stuff just for everyone to know.
Right. Just getting your thoughts out there is the basis, and then putting your whatever personality you want to inject in that is, you know, goes on top of that. That's really the only formula. There's not like, I don't, like when I'm writing scripts, I just kind of have a basic like intro, summary, you know, closing thoughts kind of thing, but just do what you want to do, frankly. There's not really, just like script writing, there's not really a way to do it. You just kind of do it and just see what works.
You spend enough time on the internet, you realize that at least one universal truth is that everyone will have, if an opinion can exist, someone will possess it. Spend enough time and there'll be people who find the most lambasted episodes are their favorite. The character that everyone else thinks is awful, they will be their champion. And it's hard to know all the motives and factors that can shape a personality to have this opinion. So the best you can do really is just present yourself clearly, respectfully. As much as the internet seems to be a place where being the bad guy or the contrarian might gain you a short-term audience, you'll lose it just as quickly if you're just disrespecting people left and right.
Call no one out.
By name, yeah, that's the big no-no. Guys, the same thing with the door. Either come in or don't stand around the door.
No.
There's no rule against swearing, but I'll tell you right now that the curse words are what they refer to in the political world as pork. You can cut it away and it does nothing. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of breath. You don't sound smarter cursing at the storm. If anything, people, I think, slowing you down.
Small minds discuss people. Average minds discuss events. Above average minds discuss ideas. Keep your thoughts to ideas. You can dabble in the events, but as I said before, don't target anybody. Do not call anybody out. That just creates drama. Just do not do it. And there's also on a less serious note, is if you criticize somebody's idea, you have plausible deniability.
Well, it seems like they've already said a lot of the things I was going to say, but one more thing I did want to mention is feel passionate about what you want to talk about. Don't just say something because a lot of other people are talking about it. Talk about it because it's something that you think about a lot, that you enjoy thinking about a lot. That you will, even if no one else hears your voice, you will still think about it and still try to think how it could work and how it doesn't work and why. Have passion for what you want to talk about.
Okay, thank you.
Well put. Okay, raise your hands high. Are there any? There's just so many hands, so little time.
I do see our con villain.
Oh my.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I suggest you listen because this might apply to you. Going back to your beginnings, what would be your advice if you are trying to balance out a more stable job, or you're just trying to balance college, or in my alter ego's case, you just finished college and you're now in Twilight's position of what on earth is next?
I want to start with that because I've been dealing. You guys, mostly. Well, I know you two have established jobs, and you kind of do. Right?
No, I'm still in college.
Okay.
So we got 2 college students and 2 folks who are college. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. My advice is don't take on more than you can chew, and be realistic about how much content you can put out. If you're trying to put out content, what I learned pretty early on is that I couldn't put out as much content as I wanted to, as fast as I wanted to with my college schedule. So that's why I started the production team, and that's why I kind of do it that way, because if I did everything by myself, it would be like Silver Pool's Space, where I just no offense, but like a video every 2 months or whatever. So, but that way you guys get weekly content, that way the editors get something to do, and also little praise for what they can do, and everyone's happy. It doesn't work like that all the time, but and just don't get sucked into it. I know that's tempting to kind of try to build your audience, like you're growing a business, like, oh my god, this is so going out so fast, but just, it's a hobby. It's a hobby. Even if you make money, it's still.
Darn it.
You want to contradict me, don't you?
No, I'm going to agree with you. It's at the end of the day, this is a hobby, and in order to get really good with this, you have to schedule things. You don't just have to schedule things. Everybody says schedule things, but that's not all you need. What you also need is someone to hold you accountable to that schedule. A lot of this isn't a one-person job. I mean, and KP will attest to this. It's like you got to have another person to hold you accountable for things that you are going to do and you're not going to do. And yes, at the end of the day, this is something we do on the side, and you cannot do videos, you cannot do this anymore if you flunk out of college, you cannot do this anymore if you neglect your job to do ponies. And that's why scheduling things is so important. You've got to schedule things so that you don't procrastinate on your work, and you forget about a test, or you forget about a homework assignment. It's really, really important.
And then deadlines. Even though it's hard to set deadlines for yourself, just with dealing with so many other people, you have to have a hard deadline, or else things just might happen, you might procrastinate, and that's just how things don't end up getting done. So if you really are serious, then you have to have a strict deadline for yourself about how much content you want to put out.
My first big job out of college became my life. Basically, it was go there, work, go home and sleep, then go back to work. And
what a life.
Yeah, not much of one. And I managed to do that for a while, actually, like 2.5 years, until I looked at my life and was like, what am I
Dusty's
doing?
back here.
What?
Everybody say happy birthday to Dusty.
Yes,
But
You're here. That doesn't mean that you're old. Hey, Dusty.
so the lesson I learned from this period was you have to make time for your life as well. The script we're given is that you do fulfill your job role, you fulfill your place in society, and that's supposed to be happy. You've got to make time for yourself. And that applies to being a fan as well. It's important. It renews our spirits. It's something fun to enjoy. It's something that gets people creative, but too much of anything becomes a vice. It becomes harmful. So, as much as I too would like to be able to produce videos daily if I could, there are periods where my schedule's more free, my productions increase. Ultimately, no, I need to go see my family. I need to go connect with my non-brony friends. I need to make sure I protect that life that I'm enjoying. Otherwise, these videos I make lose meaning as well. So never forget that balance, and never forget that you have life that is worth protecting.
There is a phrase that I've said very often: no man should run faster than he has strength. And that is something that each of them have in turn talked about. But there is something that you counteract with that. Basically, where you spend your time, that is what is most important to you. If you keep asking yourself, why can't I finish this homework assignment, or why can't I get ahead in the workplace? You look at how you're spending your time, and that is what is most important to you. If you are spending your time on your video games, or watching TV, or hanging with friends, then it is going to be more important to you than if you can keep up on your homework, or if you can get ahead in the workplace. If you look at how you are spending your time and realize, well, I will spend my time doing this and this because this is what's going to be more important to me in the long run. As much as it may frustrate me, that is what's actually happening. If you decide that you want to change your life for the better, you have to decide, no, this video game, this TV show, and this playing around doing whatever, it's not as important to me. You can realize that that part of your life can change, and it may take some time to get there, because beginning a new hobby, a new interest, a new passion in your life, it's said that if you can get past the 20-hour mark of pushing yourself towards some new aspect in your life, that it becomes much easier beyond that 20 hours to make it a regular part of your life. But introducing a bad habit, that can come far more quickly and will destroy good habits far more quickly. Patience and persistence, that's where it goes.
I feel like this panel has slowly gotten more and more depressing.
Well, we have time for one more question. Can it be a happy question?
Is that not my dog?
Any kids? Any children? Yeah, okay. Rainbow Dash, girl.
Rainbow Dash Star?
Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's you. You don't know? Okay. Okay, how about you second row with the glasses?
What would your opinion would be if some fan in the community were to make a little mini series of, like, you know, like My Little Pony, I don't know how to explain it, but you know how in the community almost every single OC is like a My Little Pony or a Pony OC, and I'm like a great fan or both.
Are you saying like make a series with all the OCs?
No, like a series where it's like in the My Little Pony series, but there's these side characters where someone made a character that's like a wolf or a fox, and it's like 5 different characters.
So slice of life, but with OCs.
Repeat, please.
She's asking, what would someone think if they made like a slice of life type episode where it's just they're still in Ponyville, but the focus is on 5 OCs.
Or so like some sort of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type deal.